Every human life starts with a woman's body. But from menstruation to menopause and every stage in between, technology can be scarce or even non-existent. What happens when women's health becomes the focus of innovation? How does that change the game for everyone?
I heard Amy Poehler speak at the White House. Her words hit me hard like a light bulb. Fictitious depictions of girls must die out. If we want to live in a world that triumphs, I am just talking about loving the femme. The future is female.
Periods are something that we've been taught to quietly, silently manage, but they're the reality for half the population. For people who menstruate, the ability to have access to the products they need to manage their bodily functions is a key part of their ability to participate in society. We've had basically a century's worth of fairly limited developments in the menstrual space. So innovation is unique. It plays a unique role in this movement. As the media has started talking about it, these new products disrupt that standard way that we've expected menstrual products to look. I think the public's been hungry for it for a long time. And again, so too has the dialogue elevated about why it is we haven't had access to new products and what these new products could mean for all of us.
What would you do if your umbrella leaked, or your shoes didn't have soles, or your phone didn't function for 1 week of every single month? The answer is simple. You get different stuff, smarter stuff, better stuff. It really is about, can we make a better product that's not invasive, better for our health, makes us feel better, and actually works. So here's, as an example, our sport pair, which looks, like I said, just like literally like a regular pair of underwear. And this is where you bleed into, and you don't ever have to worry about having an accident. Oh my gosh, I mean, starting a period underwear company, yeah, definitely lots of pushback. Investors were very weirded out by the idea. Most people didn't get it. The women who got it were like, got it. They're like, oh my God, I would kill to have this.
In 1931, a man invented the first tampon. In 1969, adhesive strips, aka Scotch tape underneath a pad, were added to the equation. Before that, women used menstrual belts, clips, and pins to hold a pad in place. In the 80s, menstrual cups came around and are still not mainstream. Seriously? 3 major innovations in the entire 20th century?
I knew I wanted this product, all my friends wanted this product, my sister wanted this product, a lot of people wanted this product, but in the investors, mostly men.
Do you know how the woman's menstrual period works?
Not at all. It's the shedding of the walls of something.
So without even doing any research whatsoever, they would just write us off. And so that was like a really big challenge to find investors.
Technology has changed a lot in the last 80 years. We put a man on the moon. We invented the internet. But our tampons have been left behind.
I was a very reluctant entrepreneur. I have a background in marketing and PR and had spent my entire adult life actually getting yeast infections. I had a nurse practitioner tell me that she wasn't going to write a prescription for me anymore till I really tried to figure out what the root of my yeast infections were. And I tried everything. I became a vegetarian. I drank kombucha every day, ate probiotics, yogurt, you name it, I tried it. And so I started researching tampons, and what I discovered was that all tampons, even organic tampons, disrupt the pH of your vagina. For women who are prone to get imbalances, it can push you over the edge and cause you to get a yeast infection. And then you're kind of stuck in this cycle of getting infections month after month. Flex is a single-use disposable menstrual device called a menstrual disc. And it works by sitting at the base of the cervix and a space called the vaginal fornix, and it collects your menses for 12 hours. Women say that they can't feel it when they're wearing it. They also enjoy the fact that it leaves their vaginal canal free, which helps alleviate some cramping. And it also allows for mess-free period sex.
Marketing and positioning our product using the mess-free period sex, it's been a great conversation starter. men have contributed to why women are not comfortable talking about this stuff in public or in the office or with their partners, right? Like we actively shun, we say this is not appropriate and we can't change that without being part of the conversation.
In the media, the entire national and global dialogue has changed. It's really hard to say why the sudden turnaround, other than I think that the reporting and the storytelling and the activism was so high level engaging to create this sense of inevitability that it was suddenly okay to talk about periods in the public sphere. When you think about actually other social movements, whether it's marriage equality and civil rights, there's not necessarily a product or a physical process that needs to be managed as part of the thing we're fighting. I also think that a lot of the stigma and taboo and shame and cultural practices around menstruation are rooted in ages-old misogyny.
This was the first prototype of our first New York City subway ad, the grapefruit we were talking about. Vagina. But people, this is, the MTA was like, this is offensive. This would be offensive to riders, but it's not. It's a grapefruit. And this is what we were comparing to the augmented breasts. It's like you use the exact same fruit to represent augmented breasts, and that's totally fine. All over New York City subways for 9-year-old boys and 9-year-old girls to look at. But looking at this makes you feel uncomfortable. That's a little bit of a double standard, if you ask me. We said to them, if you do not approve these ads as is, because we went painstakingly through the MTA guidelines, and we are well within the guidelines, if you do not approve our ads as is, we will go to press. And they were like, go to press. And I was like, call my bluff. All right, okay, we're going to press. We're going to go to press, and we're going to see what they have to say. And we're like, okay, we got to now do this. And so I called my 2 contacts in press, Forbes and Mike.com. Mike.com ended up picking up the story. That story actually put us on the map. And we went from being like I think I kind of heard, it's like, oh, that company, the MTA, the period company. Like that was a big turning point. So we actually were thinking about sending a basket of grapefruits to the MTA as a thank you, but we ended up not doing that.
We're really excited because we just shipped 20,000 orders. This is our first batch of shipments to US customers, and it happened last week. So we're here in New York for our launch party and to meet with various journalists and media who have contacted us over the past few months who want to try Flex and write reviews about it.
This is the Flex Company's launch party. We've been working on Flex for the past 13 months. Now that I've switched my relationship with my products, my relationship with my own period and my own body is actually very comfortable. I swim, I run, I have sex.
And I think if more girls and young women felt just the personal self-confidence that they can do it and that anything is possible, they would open their eyes to some really big problems that they might face every day that they've just never really thought of solving before.